The colossal, clangorous, and utterly captivating world of Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Tarkus. If you've ever felt the earth tremble from the sheer power of a Hammond organ, or found yourself mesmerized by a Moog solo that seems to rewrite musical laws, then you are in for an extraordinary journey. Today, we delve deep into the metallic heart of a beast, a concept, an album that redefined what rock music could achieve. But before we unseal this vault of progressive rock history, if your synapses fire and your musical curiosity is piqued, do us a monumental favor. Subscribe to our channel, PsychProg, give this exploration a hearty thumbs up, and share this video with anyone who needs a dose of mind-expanding music. Let's spread the gospel of prog far and wide. The year is 1971, a crucible for musical innovation. ELP, fresh from their audacious self-titled debut, were poised to shatter expectations once more. Tarkus, the album, and specifically its title, Suite occupying Side 1, wasn't just a collection of songs. It was a mythological epic etched in vinyl, a testament to progressive rock's burgeoning ambition and instrumental prowess. It's a work that, decades later, continues to fascinate, challenge, and inspire. The story of Tarkus begins not with immediate consensus, but with a degree of internal band friction, a creative crucible that ultimately forged something unique. Keith Emerson, the keyboard wizard whose pyrotechnics were already legendary, conceived the Tarkus suite as a grand, unfolding narrative. He envisioned a creature, part armadillo, part tank, a biomechanical engine of destruction, born from a volcanic eruption, roaming a desolate landscape, vanquishing other bizarre creatures only to be ultimately defeated by a manticore. This concept, vividly brought to life by William Neal's iconic artwork, was Emerson's baby. He presented the intricate, multi-part instrumental framework to Greg Lake and Carl Palmer. Lake, the band's golden-voiced bassist and guitarist, was initially hesitant. His sensibilities leaned towards more melodic, song-oriented structures, and the sheer instrumental complexity and aggressive nature of Emerson's early Tarkus sketches felt somewhat alienating. This, dear listeners, is our first point of tension. Would Emerson's uncompromising vision for an extended, predominantly instrumental epic be embraced, or would it fracture the nascent supergroup? The potential for a creative impasse was very real, a moment where ELP's trajectory could have taken a vastly different path. Fortunately, Carl Palmer, the percussive powerhouse, was immediately enthusiastic, recognizing the immense potential for rhythmic innovation. His support, coupled with Emerson's unwavering conviction, eventually persuaded Lake. However, Lake's contribution became crucial in humanizing the mechanical beast. He penned the lyrics for the vocal sections, Stones of Years, Mass, and the poignant Battlefield, infusing the narrative with themes of war, futility, and the cyclical nature of destruction and rebirth. It was this synthesis of Emerson's complex instrumental architecture and Lake's lyrical and melodic sensibility that elevated Tarkus from a mere display of virtuosity into a profound artistic statement. The suite, running over 20 minutes, is a masterclass in dynamic contrast and thematic development. It opens with Eruption, a volcanic burst of sound dominated by Emerson's Hammond organ, playing a relentless driving ostinato in a jarring 10/8 or syncopated 5/4 time signature. This isn't just flashy playing, it's programmatic music, sonically depicting the violent birth of the titular creature. The raw, distorted organ tones, punctuated by Palmer's explosive drumming, create an atmosphere of primal chaos and immense power, a truly visceral opening. This section alone showcases Emerson's innovative use of the Hammond, treating it not just as a keyboard, but as a sonic weapon. Following this cataclysm, Stones of Years emerges, a moment of reflection amidst the turmoil. Greg Lake's clear, commanding vocals enter, pondering the passage of time and the ruins left by conflict. The tempo shifts, the mood becomes more contemplative, though the underlying tension remains. Musically, it's a beautiful contrast, with Lake's melodic lines soaring over a rich harmonic tapestry woven by Emerson. This section demonstrated that ELP could marry their instrumental ferocity with genuine melodic grace. Then comes Iconoclast, a short, aggressive instrumental bridge, where Tarkus, the destroyer of icons, barrels forward. It's a whirlwind of keyboard runs and powerful drumming, a musical depiction of relentless destruction. The Moog Synthesizer, still a relatively novel instrument in rock, begins to feature more prominently, its futuristic timbres adding to the mechanical, otherworldly feel of the piece. Emerson's ability to coax such a vast array of sounds from his formidable keyboard rig was, and remains, Astonishing. He wasn't just playing notes, he was sculpting sound, creating textures that were entirely new to the rock idiom. The interplay between the Hammond's growl, the Moog synthesized shrieks, and Palmer's intricate polyrhythms is simply breathtaking. Mass follows, and here Lake's lyrics take on a more sardonic, almost cynical tone, observing the rituals and blind faith that often accompany conflict and power. The music mirrors this, with a slightly more conventional rock feel in places, yet still infused with Emerson's signature flourishes and Palmer's complex rhythmic underpinnings. There's a grandiosity to Mass, a sense of pomp and circumstance that feels almost mockingly religious, fitting the theme of false idols and destructive dogma. It's here that the conceptual weight of Tarkus truly begins to bear down, forcing the listener to consider the deeper implications of the narrative. This isn't just a fantasy story about a mythological beast. It's an allegory for the destructive tendencies of humanity, for the way ideologies, like Tarkus itself, can roll over everything in their path. The genius lies in how the music itself embodies these themes, the aggression, the mechanical repetition, the moments of false grandeur. And just as you're getting absorbed in these profound themes, a quick reminder, if this deep dive into the sonic architecture of Tarkus is resonating with you, please consider subscribing to PsychProg, liking this video, and sharing it with fellow music adventurers. Your support helps us continue to unearth these incredible musical stories. We're building a community here, dedicated to celebrating the depth and innovation of progressive rock. The instrumental Manticore section is next, a frantic, almost jazz-inflected piece that depicts the battle between Tarkus and its eventual vanquisher. Palmer's drumming is particularly noteworthy here, showcasing his incredible dexterity and rhythmic imagination. It's a short, sharp shock, a flurry of notes and beats that perfectly captures the chaos of combat. Emerson's Moog solo in this section is a highlight, a wild, untamed burst of electronic sound. Then, the emotional core of the suite arrives with Battlefield. This is Greg Lake's standout moment, a powerful anti-war ballad that laments the senselessness of conflict. "Clear the battlefield and let me seek all the profit from our victory," he sings, his voice filled with a profound weariness. Emerson's organ provides a mournful, almost funereal accompaniment before a truly majestic, almost regal guitar solo from Lake. One of his rare but always impactful lead guitar moments in ELP takes center stage, soaring with a sorrowful grandeur. This section is a masterpiece of emotional expression, a moment of profound humanity amidst the mechanical carnage, demonstrating the band's ability to evoke deep feeling as effectively as they could instrumental awe. It's a critical turning point in the suite, where the seemingly invincible Tarkus meets its match, not through greater firepower, but through something more elemental, perhaps even spiritual, represented by the Manticore. And what, then, is the ultimate fate of Tarkus? Does its mechanical reign persist, or does some other force emerge? This leads us to the point of suspension, the grand finale, Aquatarkus. This closing section is a brilliant piece of thematic recapitulation and transformation. It begins with an underwater ambiance created by Emerson's ingenious use of the Moog, suggesting Tarkus's defeat and submersion. Then, triumphantly, the main Tarkus theme returns, but it's subtly altered, less aggressive, perhaps even transformed. Is this the original Tarkus reborn, or a new aquatic version? The ambiguity is part of its genius. The music swells, incorporating elements from earlier sections, building to a powerful, almost celebratory climax, before fading out with the sounds that suggest Tarkus retreating back into the watery depths, or perhaps transforming into something new entirely. The cyclical nature implied by the return of the main theme leaves the listener pondering the endless loop of creation and destruction, of technological might and natural resilience. It's a musically sophisticated and conceptually satisfying conclusion to an audacious piece of work. The way Emerson weaves together the various motifs, modulating them and presenting them in new contexts, shows a compositional maturity far beyond that of most rock bands of the era. It's this structural integrity, this sense of an overarching narrative journey, that truly sets Tarkus apart. The critical reception to the Tarkus album was, as is often the case with truly groundbreaking art, initially mixed. Some critics, accustomed to more conventional rock structures, found the sidelong suite pretentious or overly indulgent. They, perhaps, missed the intricate conceptual framework, or were overwhelmed by the sheer virtuosity on display. Publications like Rolling Stone, for instance, were not always kind to progressive rock in its heyday, sometimes dismissing its ambition as bombast. However, the listening public responded with immense enthusiasm. Tarkus was a significant commercial success, reaching #1 in the UK and the top 10 in the US. For ELP fans and for a growing legion of progressive rock aficionados, Tarkus was a revelation. It solidified ELP's status as one of the genre's leading lights, a band unafraid to take risks and push the boundaries of musical expression. Over time, even skeptical critics have come to recognize the album's importance and innovation. It's now widely regarded as a cornerstone of progressive rock, a work that perfectly encapsulated the genre's ambition, its fusion of rock energy with classical scope, and its embrace of new sonic technologies. The sheer audacity of dedicating an entire album side to a single, continuous piece of music was a bold statement in itself, influencing countless bands that followed. The legacy of Tarkus extends far beyond its initial chart success. It became a perennial live favorite, a showpiece for the band's incredible musicianship and improvisational skills. Emerson, in particular, would often expand and embellish his keyboard parts in concert, making each performance a unique experience. The iconic armadillo-tank imagery has become synonymous with ELP, a visual shorthand for their brand of bombastic, technically brilliant, and conceptually ambitious rock. The suite's influence can be heard in the work of later progressive rock and progressive metal bands, who admired its structural complexity, its thematic depth, and its uncompromising artistic vision. Moreover, Tarkus demonstrated that rock music could be a vehicle for extended narrative compositions, challenging the notion that popular music had to be confined to 3-minute singles. It opened doors for artists to explore longer forms, to tell stories, and to create immersive sonic worlds. The suite's exploration of themes like the destructive nature of technology, the futility of war, and the cyclical patterns of history remains remarkably relevant today. It's a piece that rewards repeated listening, revealing new layers of detail and meaning with each encounter. The intricate interplay between Emerson's keyboards, Lake's vocals and bass, and Palmer's drums is a constant source of wonder, a testament to the unique chemistry of these three extraordinary musicians. The Tarkus Suite is far more than just a long song. It is a multifaceted, deeply symbolic and sonically revolutionary piece of music that stands as one of the towering achievements of the progressive rock era. It's a journey into a mythological world, a critique of human folly, and a celebration of instrumental prowess, all rolled into one. From the initial creative tension within the band to the eventual triumph of their collaborative vision, the story of Tarkus is as compelling as the music itself. It challenged listeners, it defied easy categorization, and it ultimately carved out an indelible place in rock history. For those who appreciate ELP but perhaps haven't delved into the deeper currents of progressive rock, Tarkus is an essential, exhilarating, and profoundly rewarding experience. It's a gateway to a universe of music that dares to dream big. So go forth, listen to Tarkus with fresh ears, and let its magnificent metallic roar transport you. And once you've recovered from the sonic onslaught, please do make sure you are subscribed to PsychProg. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future explorations, and check out our other videos where we dissect more masterpieces of this incredible genre. We believe in the power of this music, and we're thrilled to have you on this journey with us.